Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm up in Glencoe and it's about 20 minutes to sunrise, but as you've probably just seen from that clip there, it's torrential rain at the moment. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get a sunrise or not, but I'm here for a day of photography. Simon Jerome's is up on holiday for a couple of days, so we're going to meet up later on, but for now I'm on my own. I'm at the lone tree, which is quite fitting, and I'm hoping that when the sun comes up we're going to get some dramatic light through the storm clouds onto the Three Sisters. So stay tuned. As you can see, the water levels are very high. We've had a lot of rain, and so that's really filled up the streams and the rivers. So I'm going to frame up a shot here, and the hope is that we'll get some direct light on the mountains. It's about 10-15 minutes after sunrise, so the light's going to be quite low. So I think if we get any light breaking through from the east, then it's going to be kind of warm, and it might even have some reddy orange tints to it, and I think that'll really contrast with the muted greens that we've got all around. So I'm really just setting up the camera and hoping, to be brutally honest. There's no guarantee we're going to get any sunlight through. If the truth be told, the forecast is the first glimmer of sunlight's in about 6 hours somewhere. So I really am being overly optimistic here, and there's no reason for it. But I'm here, so I'm going to grab a shot. The worst comes to the worst, I might even grab a kind of moody black and white shot, because I really like the way that little rowan tree just now is silhouetted against the sky, and that really grey foreboding sky is just calling out for a shot, isn't it? I'll zoom in a bit, something like that, so that you've got the rowan tree in the sky, separated from the mountains just a little bit, and yeah, I think that's a lovely shot. As you can see, it's framed up. I've got it in vertical orientation, and I'm basically just filling the frame with that tree. We've got the mountain behind, but we've got that degree of separation between the tree and the mountain, and then these beautiful grey stormy looking skies in the distance. We haven't had any light yet, but I do think that's a nice shot. Very moody, very brooding kind of Glencoe landscape. But yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm going to move slightly to my left and see if we can get a little bit more separation between the mountain and the tree. But the problem, I think, there is going to be we then lose the tree with this this area here. So it's a kind of compromise as always. But yeah, I like that. Still no sign of any direct light. But what we do have is Simon Jerome's has turned up. So late to the party, but he's here. Okay, right, here we are. We've come down to the falls on the river Coe now, and as you can see, there's a lot of water. There's been a lot of rain over the last 24 hours, so the river is very full, and I thought we'd come down here to try and make the most of that. We're going to have the obvious exposure problem because that water is very white, but thankfully the sun is behind that mountain off to the right at the moment, so we're not going to get any direct sunlight on the waterfall, but every now and again we do get some light on the ridge up here, and that's just adding to the shot, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to frame up. I like the idea of using these foreground rocks as a kind of framing tool and as some foreground interest. So I'm going to frame up a shot where we've got those rocks, something probably like that actually, So we've got those rocks framing along the bottom of the frame. If I go slightly to the right, you can see you've got the continuation of the river down there through that gap. That probably is a better composition again, isn't it? Because then you've got the flow of the river leading out to the bottom right there. So yeah, I think that's a nice shot. The rain's just come on again, but I'm going to frame up the shot and then we'll just wait and hope that we might get a little splash of light on the mountain in the background, and then that'll be the first shot from this location. Okay, let me talk you through this composition. What I've done is I've come quite a bit further to the right, so now the water leading out of the bottom of the frame is a lot larger. It's kind of similar to the first shot that I was framing up, but the difference is I'm including this tree here now. So I'm using that pretty much as a kind of mid-ground element. I've still taken several shots, so I'm going to focus stack this, and I've focused here on the rock in the foreground, I've focused on the tree, and then I've taken a focus on the ridge at the back there. Taking a couple of different exposure settings as well. Firstly, to try and freeze some of the detail in the water, but also to try and take a longer exposure to capture the detail in this rock here, because I really like the detail in the rock. It's getting noticeably brighter in the background there, so I think we might be about to get a little bit of sunlight come through. I hope so anyway. It's long overdue. But yeah, I like that. I do like that. I think what I'll do is, after I've taken a shot here, I'm going to throw the telephoto lens in and see if I can make more of that tree off to the right, and just kind of zoom in on that and maybe pick out some details in the waterfall as well. It's rainy, it's cold, it's very windy, but it is absolutely beautiful. I hope you agree. Right. Basically, I've not really moved. What I've done is I've thrown the telephoto lens on, and I've just been snapping little details here and here, and at the base of the tree here, and at the falls. And so yeah, this line of rocks here, I've been snapping some close-ups in there with the water tumbling over the edge and with the mountain in the background. We've got just a little hint of light at the top of the ridge there, so I'm hoping that that's going to come this way. We've got some lovely texture in the clouds. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Absolutely beautiful, stormy, kind of really moody textures in the clouds. So I'm going to try and include them as well. So I'm taking a shot that's quite severely underexposed, just so that we've got all that detail. I'll grab another couple of shots from here, and then I'm probably going to move on and try and find a different composition. We have another rain shower, so I'm hoping that that's going to again give way to another burst of light. While I'm waiting on the light appearing again, I might actually just flip over just now, switch to the 24-105, go a little bit wider, and then try and do something with that tree on the other side. Yeah, it really did. It started off as a bit iffy this morning, but the conditions are improving, and I think we are going to start to get some direct light through, and hopefully the wind will die down, because we were going to go and try and grab a couple of reflection type shots as well later on. But if we get some direct light and the wind drops, could be some nice shots here. At least that's the theory. Right, I'm going to move. Too late. I just saw the start of something. I was like,
oh, sorry, am I in your way?
No.
I think you'd be in your way.
It's alright, I'm moving. Right, here we are. I've come quite a bit further back, and these are the kind of rock pools just down here that I was talking about. I'm going to try and make something with them and use that to break up the darker foreground rocks. Whether it works or not, I don't know. I've got a problem to contend with in that one of those annoying photographers with brightly coloured jackets on is currently photobombing me. Yeah, something like that. I kind of like, again, that sweep, it's that idea of it sweeping down, isn't it? So you've got this foreground pool, you've got the water sweeping its way down. I'd like to get a slightly higher if possible, because there's a break there, and that kind of breaks up the composition, I think. So you've got the water disappearing, and it kind of hits a kind of bottleneck there and then comes back out again. So I might get slightly higher and see if we can open that up a little bit and get some water through that. But my problem is if I get too high, then I'll lose that foreground pool, and it really is the foreground pool that I was interested in. I'm going to grab this shot, bottleneck and all, and then I'll experiment. I'll see if it's possible to get a little bit higher and still retain the rock pool. Well, what do you make of this? I've found a composition, or an angle should I say, that allows me to include this foreground pool, the falls, and that tree that I was so taken with earlier. Probably can't see that too clearly, but I've got the pool down here, I've got the tree up there, and the waterfall coming in, sweeping through the centre of the image. And yeah, it looks okay. It actually looks quite nice. And we're starting to get just a little hint of light on the ridge up there. So I'm going to wait around in the off chance that we get some direct light there, because I think that would even the exposure out a little bit, and it would add to the composition. I like that. I like that foreground pool, which is really just catching the reflection of the clouds overhead. And yeah, look, we're starting to get some light on the Anarchiach now. I think there might be a shot there. I'll give it a couple of seconds, see if that light develops, if it comes to anything. I just coming off the rocks there, I managed to hit a particularly slippy patch and took a tumble. It was one of those, you know, those old man slow motion kind of ones. It was one of them. So everything's fine. But what happened was I ended up going lens first into one of these rock pools. So the lens got soaked and was a bit dirty. So I've just spent the last 15 minutes trying to clean it up. It seems fine, everything's okay. And the good news is, thankfully, Simon never spotted it, so I can pretend it didn't happen. Oh, other than the fact that I'm going to mention it in the video. Anyway, I may not make the cut. It was one of these ones here was the culprit. Now I've come back a little bit further, and my thinking is that I might be able to do something similar in that I can use these rocks now as the foreground. There's a lot more pools here, so there's a lot more light areas to break up the foreground. Obviously the main problem is we're now further back from the waterfall, so you know, I don't know if that's a help or a hindrance, to be honest. This point of view is actually quite nice, isn't it? If I zoom in, so you can still make the waterfall reasonably big in the frame, but you've got a lot more of these foreground pools. Still got the tree that I liked, and we've still got the mountains in the background with the dramatic light hitting. Yeah, I might grab that shot, that looks quite nice. My only issue is Simon's right in there, so I might have to crop it around about there. As you can probably tell, the rain's come back on, so the colours have been a wee bit more muted, and we're starting to get a little bit more spray up off of the waterfall. So I've put the lens cap on just now to try and protect the front element, and I'm just going to wait this out. It looks as if it's only a brief shower. I can already see some blue skies behind it, so I'll just wait until it's past, and then we'll try and find another composition. Yeah, I don't know that it's going to pass, to be honest. It just seems to have got heavier. I've got some bad news for you. You missed some comedy gold. I wet my arse. Well, thanks for your sympathy. Yeah, thanks. So the rain's come off and we've decided to try another location. We've come down to the Torren Lochan in the hope that we might get some nice reflections. And I'm quietly confident because we had a quick sneak peek before grabbing the cameras and it was looking nice. We're going to quickly grab a shot or two of this before the wind picks up again and we lose all the reflections again. But this is beautiful. Look at that there. Look at the light on those trees. That is gorgeous, isn't it? Well, is that not typical? It was absolutely lovely until we set up the cameras and now we've got a breeze picked up again. The reflections didn't really come to much, as you've just seen, but we just had a fascinating conversation with the lady that owns the land and the loch for that matter, and she was telling us that apparently they need to drain the loch very soon. So if you've got any intentions of coming here and getting some images, you've probably got about a year apparently, which is going to be a great shame. They're hoping to rebuild the dam and then refill the loch, but who knows how long that'll take. So if you like this view and you'd like to get an image of it yourself, then you have some limited time, I'm afraid. It's a shame. The way of the world. 100 years old apparently the loch is. Anyway, I think that's probably it for this video. Hope you liked. If you did, give us a little thumbs up, and if you haven't yet hit subscribe, then feel free to hit subscribe. And in the meantime, thanks for watching and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.